everyone, and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today, a few days before New Year's, we're already starting to make resolutions we know we're going to break by, let's say, noon on January 1st. But one resolution that we're going to make that we don't even need to wait until New Year's to fulfill is to watch more Age of Empires as we sit down to watch Mr. Yo playing as the Malay in blue take on Hearttt, playing as the Armenians in red. Now all the players heard their herdables explore their immediate surroundings and try. Ooh, a little peaceful kiss there between the sheep and the boar. They try to go up to Feudal Age ASAP. Why don't we take a look at the Civ matchup we'll be watching today? Now the Malay, a naval civilization that comes with a few late game land features that are incredibly powerful. First, Malay battle elephants become progressively cheaper starting in castle all the way up to 40. You heard that right, 40% off in Imperial. Second, the Malay get all infantry armor upgrades for free. Third, their militia line units can be upgraded to cost only food, no gold. And so remember, while the Malay do not get champions, this upgrade, when they combine it with supplies, basically turns their two-handed swordsman into a fairly cheap trash unit that only costs 65 food. Lastly, to help them raid their opponent, overwhelm them literally, the Malay can turn to their unique unit, the Karambit Warrior, an incredibly cheap, super fast, but overall kind of weak infantry unit that only takes up half a population space, which means if you've got 20 of them, they only take up 10 population room. Now, in order to get these late game features, upgrades, whatever you want to call them, units as fast as possible, the Malay do advance to the next age 66% faster than normal. So what that basically means is you can rush your butt up to the next age or take a little bit of a more relaxed approach, build up your economy, and then follow your opponent up fairly quickly. Pivoting our eye to the bottom right of the screen, we've got the Armenians, one of the newest, if not the, maybe tied with the Georgians, newest civilizations in the game, primarily an infantry civilization, but one that comes with a few cool units. To start with, all Armenian infantry do come with extra line of sight and are available an age earlier, which means Armenian does have access to spearmen in Dark Age, longswordsmen and pikemen in Feudal, and two-handed swordsmen, champions, and halberdiers in Castle Age. Now, these same infantry units, except for their spearman line units, can be upgraded to get a big plus 30 HP to their, oh my god, big plus 30 boost to their HP. And their first unique unit, the Warrior Priest, blurs the line between Man of War and Man of the Cloth, being an infantry unit that can actually heal friendly units and also gather relics. Now, to support their slower moving bipedal army on the battlefield, the Armenians can field a second unique unit, the Composite Bowman. A lot of talk about this unit, a foot archer whose attack actually ignores the armor of all land units except for siege. Now, in order to help the Armenians get their military-industrial complex up and running ASAP, their first fortified church comes with a free their mule carts are 25% cheaper, and their mule cart technologies are 40% more effective, which means more productive Armenian miners and lumberjacks. Those are the two civilizations. I have one request for Mr. Yo. If you are going to go Karambits, obviously this game was played a few days ago, so he definitely can't hear me when I'm talking to him right now, but I'm going to shout into the hurricane and into, well, what's the expression? Shouting, pissing into the wind. I'm going to do it anyway. Please, if you're going to go Karambits, have pity on my poor eyes and my poor neck, and please don't attack at 7 locations at once, because I don't want to fill their screen up with picture in picture. But in any event, both players sitting at 18, 19 villagers a pop. It looks like our Malay continuing to train more and more villagers. A good time to look at the bases, especially as our Armenian has already clicked up the feudal. Love the location of the forests, 3 of them making his flanks very easily defended. His forward position, though, very much open. His primary gold kind of close to the town center, so not a bad location, even though it's kind of exposed here in the middle of this opening, this clearing. And speaking of exposed, this primary stone very much exposed. 2 additional gold piles to the front, 1 to the left, 1 to the right, and then additional stone to the left side of his base as well. So overall, not a terrible base, but like I said, the forward position, we'll see how Hearttt decides to wall this off, if he even decides to wall it off. Let's take a look at our Malay's base, as he has also now clicked up to Feudal Age. Primary gold, also pretty close to the town center, also a little bit off to the side. His primary stone, though, nice and secure in the back. additional gold in the top, additional gold at the bottom, and additional stone at the, what do we want to call this, the 8 o'clock location. So overall, I mean, he's got a patch of resources strewn about in a little pentagonal shape here, a pentagon, a satanic star, if you will. Forests also pretty far away from the town center. It looks like he's got a thicker one over here, but just like Hearttt, the forward position of Mr. Yo's base completely open. Unlike Heartt's base, his flanks a lot harder to wall off. I mean, even if he walls off over here, and we know Mr. Yo sometimes likes to bite off a big chunk of the map. Even if he walls off here, he's still gonna have to wall off back here. So primary stone better for Mr. Yo. Location of forests, I would say, better for our Armenian, who is housed. And oh no, he's gonna be housed for a while since he just started building this house. Yikes. Although never mind, right as I say that, he cancels something and then instead trains an archer, as Mr. Yo is already here with 2 militias. There are already 2 spearmen and 1 scout to greet them. So 1 player going militia, 1 player going spearman. Remember, Hearttt, if he so wishes, does have access, right? Excuse me, I don't know why my voice went prepubescent. Does have access to pikemen and longswordsmen right now if he wanted it so. For now, though, he is going ranged units here with archers and 2 skirmishers. Does he expect some kind of follow-up? I'm looking on the minimap, and Mr. Yo has already gobbled up, it looks like, what, 1/6 of the map for his base? Let's take a very quick look. Okay, once the parties disengage, I'll zoom out on his base as opposed to just keeping an eye on the minimap. But so far, not a lot getting done here by Mr. Yo, although while he does that, while he aggresses against his opponent, his wall-off is being built, and Hearttt is nowhere close to being able to put on any kind of aggression since he's all the way back here. Although now, right as I say that, of course, a half-injured scout does move out towards Mr. Yo's base. By the way, has Hearttt even explored? Sorry, we did see that he did explore. I wanted to see how much he explored. Mr. Yo also hasn't really explored too much of his opponent's base. Not a lot of new information just yet, as he continues to circle with these 3 units that he brought here 100 years ago. Skirmishers need to be careful. This scout is going to pounce on them. Ooh, okay, he pounces on them, but then derps out a little bit, gets 1 whack off. I'm surprised it was only that, and immediately pivots back to the gold miners. And now Mr. Yo is going to try to distract Heartt's army while 1 militia tries to attack a gold miner, but realizing that that's not really going to do much or accomplish much, he pulls back. Looks like his scout is heading to the right side of the map. His militias have absconded to the south of the map. 1 archer is probably enough to kill these guys, or at least zone them out. I believe the archer does move faster, which means these... Oh my god, my clicking. Yeah, he moves a little bit faster, which means these militias are never really going to catch up. And look at that, they did a little bit of a loop-de-loop, did the scout and the militias, and they meet yet again, but oh no. I don't really know what to make of this move out here by Mr. Yo. Did he just want to get more scouting of his opponent? I don't know what the hell the point of that was, because now there's 3 archers that are going to engage into these militias, and now these militias are going to be not stopped, but at least poked a little bit by this spearman and blocked. But look at their HP. They have to get the hell out of here. Okay, Hearttt just now plopping down a wall, but in comes the scout. He's going after the healthier militia, but he probably will get both. 1 goes down, a second goes down. So the first 2 kills of the game going to Heartt's scout, as Mr. Yo now has to get the hell out of here. His supporting units are gone, and look at Hearttt claiming a bit of a smaller chunk of the map compared to Mr. Yo, who has claimed, like I said, I'm looking at the mini-map, 1/6, 1/7 of the map. And he's able to do that because with only 2 militias and a scout, he has kept the aggression all the action on Heartt's side of the map. And now he moves forward with no fewer than 5 skirmishers, a spearman, and this scout that just refuses to leave. This is like the dinner guest who does not get your social cues and just continues to sit there chatting and chatting and chatting and just does not really know when to leave. Looks like Hearttt has managed to get one more kill, while Mr. Yo actually managing to get a whole bunch of kills all of a sudden. 7 kills to 4. The village joins in on the fight. She closes in on the minimum range of these skirmishers, which means she should be able to do some pretty good damage unless they just run away. And that is exactly what they do. These 3 archers here to the right side of the gold pile have to be very careful. These skirmishers, they're going to take no prisoners. Maybe go for the spearmen. I'm surprised that we're seeing so much archer play out of these 2 civilizations. I mean, I guess in feudal, their archer lines are not really... they don't really suffer in Feudal Age, is what I'm trying to say. I think the Malay, their foot archer line is basically pristine. I think they're missing just... they're missing the mounted upgrades, right? They don't get Parthian tactics. They don't get heavy cavalry archer. Whereas the Armenians, they, at the end of the day, don't get thumb ring, I want to say. Yeah, they don't get thumb ring, but also no heavy cav archer, no Parthian tactics. And I think both of these civs, actually, interestingly enough, do not have hand cannoneers. And so archer play, I guess I'm not surprised to see archer play in that case. Malay moving in with this trash army composition of spearmen and skirmishers. He has 5 more villagers than his opponent. What are you? You look big, so you must be a market. Mr. Yo has the requisite structures. He has 730 gold. Why does he have so much gold? He is not yet heading up to Castle Age. Now, just in case you wondered how it worked, what does it mean when the Malay go up to the next age 66% faster? Does their clock tick faster? No, it does not. For example, Castle Age is going to take our Armenian 160 seconds. For our Malay, it's going to take 96 seconds. So the clock counts the same. It's not it's not like fast forwarded 66% faster. It just knocks off 66% of the amount of time it takes to go up to the next stage. And so instead of 160, you're left with 96. And to Imperial, if I'm hoping we get to see Imperial, because I don't really see a military buildup in Castle Age right now. Instead of taking almost, actually not almost, a little over 3 minutes, 190 seconds is going to take a little under 2 minutes for our Malay as the armies disengage. Or I should say, rather, it takes a third, I think, of the... I'm trying to think. Yeah, well, what's the proper way of saying it? Yeah, it takes a third of the time off of the clock. Very defensive castle here for Mr. Yo with a little bit of an exit. Oh, no. Are you going to start spamming karambits? Oh, please, please, please. It's the new year. Be kind to your casters. Have your pets spayed and neutered and be kind to your casters. Armenian Knight is on the battlefield, which means these skirmishers better GTFO. Now, they do move around a little bit of a loop-de-loop so that this Knight takes a bit of damage from the spearman. He takes exactly 50 HP of damage. And now he should probably die. Yeah, he does die, having killed nothing new here beyond the few units that he killed here to the right side of the screen. The archers, are they going to discover the castle? Let's see. The castle is... Sorry, that is a monastery. That's not a castle. Oh, they're definitely going to discover the castle now. Yeah, right as it fires hell on them. Looks like this knight did get a kill. I'm trying to find theirs. Must be that one blue spearman. I think he could take this fight. Maybe we might want to take the high ground for it, but still, I think he can take this fight. And now he's going to get sandwiched a little bit, although sandwiched, a knight getting sandwiched between skirmishers and one 2/3 health spearman is not the worst sandwich in the world. I'd eat that sandwich. 2 town centers up for our Armenian. What was here? What was destroyed? I did not manage to get a quick enough look. A 3rd town center going up for him. A 3rd town center going up for our Malay. I like the location of this one. I love the location of this one. I mean, this is just the gods of the maps, the map gods telling you that you need to plop down a town center right between that pile of gold and the perfectly spaced out forest. The karambits are out. They do a little sassy shoulder move when they run, but man, oh man, can they overwhelm an opponent. It looks like finally the last vestiges of the Feudal Age army here are donezo as a poor direwolf meets his fate. Or maybe her fate. Uh-oh. I love the big step they take when they attack. They take one big massive step forward. Our Armenian is doubling down on crossbows. Okay. Let's take a look at the karambit, see if it comes with any kind of relevant bonus here. Eagle Warrior. Of course, this tree comes with an attack bonus against Eagle Warriors, but no, nothing really relevant to the crossbows, and the crossbows, nothing really relevant here to the karambits. So, meanwhile, not too sure why our Armenian is going ranged at the moment. He is in castle. He needs to do a lot more scouting, does Hearttt. I mean, look at this. He hasn't discovered any of this. And he doesn't know. I mean, he knows there's a castle. He knows. Where is it? Over here. Sorry. Oh, my goodness. I don't know why I clicked the blacksmith. He knows there's an archery range. But he doesn't know anything else. Try to find a stable. See if maybe you're going against elephants. And oh, the karambits bust their way in through the palisade gate. What are you? You are just two random karambits peacocking over here on top of the hill. Now the question is one villager enough? It looks like the HP is fluctuating wildly between 130 and 150. Why did it all of a sudden go down 100 HP? And why is the villager just now running away? He is not going to make it home to the family for New Year's. No, he makes it to hell for New Year's. And the crossbows are going to engage into the karambits. We'll see if the karambits even notice the crossbows. They need ballistics. Where do you think you're going, Mr. Warrior Priest? Karambits now engage into here as well. They've killed one villager, but two karambits lie dead. I'm surprised these knights... Why are these knights not attacking? There's a lot of maneuvering and posturing, but not a lot of actual attacking going on here. Warrior Priest baits the karambits. The karambits run forward. At least, Mr. Crossbow, get your butt on the high ground. And he finally does have ballistics. These two karambits are still here. Mr. Yo getting such amazing scouting using these two zerglings, and he is going to see so much of Heartt's base, whereas Hearttt really hasn't seen that much. And down goes the monk for our Malay as well. This guy is just kind of hanging out next to the tree. Yeah. What's the saying that one generation plants the tree, the other enjoys the shade? And then the third probably chops it down and sells it or something like that. The knights, they've lost wind. These are not Frankish knights with extra line of sight. They have no clue where these karambits are. Luckily, the university with, I'm not too sure who that is, Leonardo da Vinci maybe, has caught wind of these karambits as they yet again engage. Let's take a look at their upgrades. +1, +2. So they're going to kill villagers. They basically attack the same as a camel, which is pretty damn weak. And oh no, Monk 1.0 versus Monk 2.0. And remember, I believe for this monk to convert the warrior priest, he can't just do that. He needs the upgrade for it. And because of that, he dies. And because of that, the warrior priest picks up the relic and takes it home. Okay, so I was a little bit afraid that Mr. Yo would go karambits and start going bonkers with them, but instead he's just a few surgical strikes here and there as Hearttt now shows up to the front of his base with no fewer than 25 crossbows out of a total of 32. Mr. Yo, though, is heading up to Imperial. A minute, 25 seconds away. A fourth town center for our Armenian. 2 castles already up. Neither of them training karambits. And this might be the first situation I've seen where a pro player hits Imperial Age and doesn't immediately train 2 trebs, although we never say never. And a third defensive castle. Mr. Yo is playing ridiculously defensive here. He's got 3 castles anchoring the left side of his base. The right side, not a lot going on here. I mean, there's a big thick forest here that's going to stop a little bit, but a house away from being penetrated is our Malay, who now pops out 1 scorpion. Good first shot. Good first shot. Second shot going after the knight. Not so good. Knights engaging into more wolves. Okay, now the crossbows abscond, and now it is our Armenian who is heading up to Imperial as well. 2.5 minutes is what Mr. Yo has to work with, and he looks like he's about to sandwich these knights here. How did he know that the knights were there? His vision. I mean, the karambits do come, it looks like, with better vision, better line of sight than these knights. And Red's army is huffing it home in all directions. Oh, did he not see this castle before? Why did he go into that attack zone? Our karambits are chasing in. How many are there? 25 over here. Another 4 somewhere else. And now they are elite, so their base attack jumps up to 8. They are +2, maxed out armor upgrades. Remember, the Malay do get all the armor upgrades for free, similar to how the Koreans get all archer armor upgrades for free and automatically. But Mr. Yo is not really making use of his Imperial Age time advantage. He's already squandered a minute and a half of it, not really getting much done. And now I don't even know what the hell to make of this. I mean, I get it that these units are cheap. I get that a Karambit warrior only costs 15 gold and takes up half a population space, but I'm not too sure you want to just park him right in front of a castle. As the elites move in on the crossbows, kind of looked like they were going after the mule cart there for a second, but the crossbows wisely enter into the castle firing zone. And so as many Karambits as possible are going to die. And look at that. 3 crossbows in exchange for a whole bunch of Karambits, and he tries to wall him out, but no, he's missing. Oh, not quick enough. Not quick enough. The Karambits swarm into the base. And all of a sudden, you've created a whole bunch of alleyways that are going to hurt you, but never mind. Hearttt just decides to delete them. There's another group of blue dots moving across the mini-map. What are you? You are Karambits. Okay, now Mr. Yo's going to start. Okay, let's see who wins this. What? Oh my goodness, you don't need to be this Spanish to be able to kill Karambits with your villager. I'm assuming that Karambit was probably pretty softened up from before, and that's why he met his untimely fate at the hands of a cutlass-wielding villager. Another castle, not so defensive, trebs and elite skirmishers, all manner of mining upgrades, and finally Blast Furnace is going to round out these Karambits pretty damn well. They are going to attack on a 12. They're going to have 4 melee, 5 pierce. Not the greatest armor, but otherwise, I mean, what do you want? The Teutonic Knight level armor on a Karambit warrior? That would just be unfair. We are going Arbalests for our Armenians. So remember I mentioned how in Feudal Age, their archer line is pretty okay. It's pretty generic, but it's pretty okay. In Imperial, without having Thumb Ring, I guess they don't attack as fast. I don't really expect these Karambits to kind of hang out and not move around, but oh my god, what an absolute trail of dead Karambits! Oh my god! That was an absolute disaster for Mr. Yo. Again, I get they're cheap. They're not that cheap, but you can squander a bunch of them. It looks like one is still alive for a quick second. Oh, you love to see it. Let's hope that 2024 brings us more bloodshed, more bloodbaths, of course, on the computer screen, not in real life. Villagers trying to repair the treb. It looks like that little tiny faint blue line is going down, down, down. And even more Karambits are moving in. So Mr. Yo is going full frontal attack with these Karambits. Looks like he's going after the Treb. I don't really know what the hell's going on behind there. The Treb does fall, but that's a lot of Karambits to lose. 4 relics for our Armenian, 2 for our Malay, as a whole bunch of Karambits meet their death over here. And now the second blue Treb falls. Oh no. I mean, I get the instinct to want to pack it up and go, but the second you pack it up, that armor decreases by about 1 billion%. Another Karambit incursion finds yet another Treb. What a fun game so far. I mean, if you would ask me, do you expect the Armenians to go Arbalests against the Malay? I would have said probably not. Probably would have gone infantry. Now remember, Feriders does not apply to their halberdiers, which means had our Malay gone battle elephants, I mean, he might still go battle elephants. Now he's getting archer upgrades for his skirmishers. Why the hell not? Why the hell not? Your opponent has 46 arbalests. Now he's getting infantry upgrades and gambeson, so he's going to transition to some kind of infantry play here. Will our red Armenian? And now the Karambits have to get the hell out. Let's take a look at what's going on the map. Looks like there was a castle attempted to be placed, but then canceled by Mr. Yo, who has enough stone for 2 more castles. But we've got 2 big anchor castles on either wing of the Armenian base. More and more barracks are being plopped down here. Okay. I don't see a single infantry unit being trained out of these barracks, despite Hearttt getting a whole bunch of upgrades. Oh, he can't because he's at full population. He's at full capacity. Feriders being researched. So what does he want to build? Long swordsman? Oh, what is happening in this game? What a zany game. I'm so glad I caught this one. And the Karambits close. They are now fully upgraded. What is their attack speed? 2. This should be what, 1 point? Oh no, all right, no, there's no thumb ring. Okay, never mind, just the 2. So they attack the same. The arbalests are actually a little bit weaker, and they both, I believe, have 40 HP. The Karambit's doing a good amount of damage as we saw 3 Trebs inching their way forward towards this castle. I'm going to zoom back. I want to compare a Karambit stats to an Arbalest stats because I feel like the Karambit is just a tiny bit more powerful, but you couldn't tell based on how these Arbalests are just sniping, although that could be a numbers thing. Our Armenian having a significant numbers advantage in these various engagements that he's taking across the map. Trebs, 2 of them over here. Random mule cart, donkey cart being brayed over here. This castle is still up at Hearttt. He's losing stone. Okay, I feel like Mr. Yo's Trebs are on the high ground, which is good for him. Terrible for Hearttt, as yet another Treb falls. Arbalests are moving into the radius of the fortified church. It does have 4 relics, which means it fires 4 arrows at every blue Karambit that's silly enough to enter its kill radius. Castle is down, and now the barracks. Okay, he's seconds away from completing two-handed swordsman, but he doesn't have the food for infantry production right now. These Karambits are still destroying the back of Heartt's base. The forward position to the top, the anchor has been severed, and all of a sudden Mr. Yo's pushing in with, what is this, 1 2 3 4 5 6 castles. But here come the two-handed swordsmen. They have 90 HP compared to the usual 60, but even the 90 HP, even that I was gonna say, even though these are just elite skirmishers, they are on the high ground, and there's 25 of them, and holy moly, that was a fun game. 286 Karambits, 111 Arbalests. I really do wonder why he went unsupported Arbalests right up until the very end. I feel like Hearttt, if he had just a few more minutes, if one of 2 things would have happened, let's put it like that. I'm going to get all philosophical. If one of 2 things had happened, he probably could have held on and possibly even pushed this back, because this is not a strong army. It's skirmishers and a unit that attacks on a 12. Okay, that's not exactly the craziest, strongest army. So had one of 2 things. The first one, if he got this barracks infrastructure up earlier, let's say 3 minutes earlier, and he started pumping out these two-handed swordsmen, which I guess he's got enough food for, what, 8 more, which is not that much, and he's taking fights in the low ground. Maybe he could have held. Or instead of putting the barracks here, he placed the barracks somewhere else, because Mr. Yo was on a warpath here to the north. I mean, I don't know if that's game sense or luck, just like I asked you guys yesterday with the Viper and the trap that I think he set for Hera, or the bait that our master baiter set for Hera. Was this luck that Mr. Yo attacked into the north castle and not the south castle? Because he has seen it. What if these bombards, these 2 bombards, were up here and the Trebs were down here? Those barracks probably would still be up, because 2 bombards to take down a castle is going to take a lot longer than 3 Trebs. And the bombards are also exposed to, counterattack, and they're much more maneuverable, which makes players maneuver them back a lot more frequently. But whatever the reason is, Mr. Yo went to the north with the 3 Trebs and gunned down this fresh infrastructure that our Armenian had just placed. 5 new barracks. The castle wasn't really new, but the barracks were. And I'm going to zoom out. Only 3 barracks left. Okay, so that's kind of why Mr. Yo, he's getting supplies. What is he getting ready for? Forced Levy? Or did he already research Forced Levy? That's the upgrade that basically turns their two-handed swordsman into 65 food trash. But doesn't really need it. He ended up winning the game with these multi-pronged, although not as many as I thought there would be if he had gone Karambits as he did. So Mr. Yo, across space and time, did hear my prayer and answered it. Peak APM for him, as always, right at the very beginning of the game, furiously clicking his mouse. Hearttt, a few minutes ago, peak APM Hera levels at 200. What do we think about the economies? Can't be that different. Yeah, about 10% difference in economy. That extra relic, anytime you have a game with Armenians, because their fortified church gives them an extra relic, you always have to factor in that there's going to be 6 relics instead of 5 in the map. And he gets an extra, what is that, 1,300 gold because of that, which is basically the difference in mining. So they basically both mine the same amount of gold, a little bit more wood for our Armenian, a little bit more food for our Malay, and a lot more stone, maybe 2 extra castles worth of stone for our Malay conversions 0 apiece. And let's see the kill count. 41 dead villagers for our Armenian. No doubt it's these karambits. Actually, maybe not 0. Okay, here we go. 12 kills, 9 of which are villagers. Took the 4. Although our Armenian, who with the ranged units, the Arbalests, who ultimately does get more kills. No surprise there. The ranged units generally do get more kills than the melee because they, by the time the melee closes, they just kill a whole bunch of them anyway. But ultimately, I do question why Hearttt had these crossbows / Arbalests unsupported for the vast majority of the game. He just left them unattended. By the way, has he seen this barracks? No, he has not. So he's explored this part of the map, but has not seen the barracks. Very inefficiently placed donkey carts here, one right next to the other. Although I guess these guys are going to the town center. These guys are going to here, and these guys, maybe move this a little bit over. But not exactly that relevant. Sorry, I fixated on that. But Mr. Yo, initially incredibly defensive with 1, 2, 3 castles, realizes that he's the one setting the pace of the game, and then just runs with it, as Mr. Yo is wont to do, with 3 fat middle of the map castles, more archery ranges. We've got a few siege workshops being added in as well for the bombard cannons, a university in the middle of nowhere, and another archery range. And so it is an absolute delight to watch Karambits. Their ability to just swarm over everything is amazing. And despite the fact that Hearttt killed about 100 units more than his opponent, despite the fact that he took one of the absolute coolest looking engagements, I think it was here, right? Where the Karambits just absolutely were slaughtered, massacred en masse. It is in fact Mr. Yo who, with those Karambits and then the pivot to skirmishers, which by the way, Red has seen and now knows that his Arbalests, all 4 remaining Arbalests are mincemeat. I don't know where the hell the 4th one is, but it doesn't really matter. It is Mr. Yo, the Karambit king, who takes this game. But GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.